Good morning and welcome to Nora's Dog Training Company. We're here this morning with Pippa and Fred, and what we're going to be demonstrating for you today on video is Pippa's ability to understand and respond to her formal obedience commands. The motivation and the little corrections that we give the dogs when we're working with them, and the training equipment that we're using. Fred is using a regular 6-foot web training leash, and he keeps the bulk of that leash folded in his right hand. That leaves the left hand free to give any correction, and the only correction that we give here at school is a little tug and release on the training collar, and that is the second piece of equipment that we're using. Pippa's going to come home with her very own training equipment, and you're going to be taught how to use that properly during your follow-up training session. Now, she's sitting very nicely at Fred's left, which is where all of our obedience training is done. I think she's not quite sure what I'm doing. And the first exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is heeling. Heeling is proper walking on a leash, and the command is Pippa heel. At this point, Miss Pippa has a job to do, and that is to stay even with your left leg, not forging ahead or dragging you down the street, always staying with you. And each time that you stop your feet, whether it's to cross traffic or talk to a neighbor, she should be sitting nicely at your left, waiting for her next command. And you see that she sits beautifully, and that's without being told. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the stay. The stay is an important command. It is a hand and a voice command, and because it is a stationary exercise, it is a one-word command. You're going to practice this exercise in your house as well as outside, because it's very important to developing her self-control and her maturity. So make her hold these sit stays, start out at about 30 seconds, work all the way up to 3 minutes. When Fred returns back to her, he will walk all the way around her. This is an additional distraction, and he ends up right back where they started at heel position. And she gets a little pat for praise, and they take off heeling again. So every time you return to your dog's shoulders or to heel position, she expects to get another command. And she's walking very ladylike with Fred, which is what you want. Very under control, very focused on him. And our job is to make sure that that authority gets transferred over to you. Fred leaves her in another sit stay, walks out to the end of his leash and faces her. Makes her hold it so that she understands that stay means you sit there until I give you another command. And this time, instead of returning back to her, he's going to call her. The command is Pippa, come. He praised her on the way in, and she came and sat right in front of him facing his knees. And this eliminates her, all labs' desire to come and jump all over you. So if you notice, everything is about self-control, everything is low-key. It's a firm voice, not a yell when you're giving commands. And you see how focused she is on him. He's going to leave her in another sit stay, and he's going to demonstrate that come on command again for you. He does use her name. Doesn't get too happy. It's a happy tone, but not over the top. And then back to heel and back sitting. And she's doing a beautiful job. Oh, great. Fire engines. This is like the story of our life when we're doing videos. And she's staying right with him. She's not reacting badly, so I'm very proud of her. So we provide our own distractions. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is the down from a heel position. So with your dog seated at your left, you take your left open palm and push it straight down toward the ground and give the one-word command to down, and then stay. Dogs tend to hold down stays better than sit stays, so you're going to practice this indoors as well as outdoors too, because house manners are very important. So put your training equipment on and practice right in the house. You're going to start out with about 1.5 minutes. Work all the way up to 5 minutes, out of 5-10 seconds a day. When Fred returns back to her, he walks again all the way around her, just as he did on the sit stay. as an additional distraction, and her job is to lay there until he gives her another command. And they take off healing again. And if you notice, Fred has not had to correct her one time. She's right with him. She's focused. She's paying attention. She likes the work. She likes the one-on-one attention that it provides. She likes pleasing you. She likes knowing what you want from her. So all those things are very important. Now we're going to demonstrate that down from a heel position one more time. Before you leave her, you always have to tell her to stay. This time, instead of returning back to her, Fred will call her in. He praises her just a little on the way in. You notice he keeps his voice soft. Back to heel and back sitting. Couldn't be any better than that. Now, the next exercise that we're going to demonstrate for you is your down from a distance. This is a little bit harder command because you're not right next to the dog. Fred's going to bring her up here so that you can see this. Now, your dog's going to be seated at your left at heel position. You're going to give her the stay command. You're going to walk out to the end of your training leash and you're going to face your dog. And then you're going to use your right hand to give the command and drop her into a down. That was perfectly done. Now we have demonstrated for you all of Pippa's formal obedience commands. Her healing, automatic sit, sit, stay, down, down from a distance, stay, and come. These are the exercises that you're going to be practicing with her at home. We're going to teach you how to use these commands in practical application when you get her home. We've enjoyed having her. She's done a fantastic job. She's a smart girl, and she needs a job to do. Thank you again for choosing Nora's Dog Training Company.